Shalom. It's Chloe out here, the Israelite Calvary, out here with another live stream camp. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. All right. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters, to the hopeful elect, all the believers out there that keeping the faith, the commandments. All right, in truth and sincerity. Hope everybody had a good Sabbath. Right. Sabbath over with now. Sun went down. And you know what I'm saying? Let's just go and let's get that in the basics, right? Basics, basic understanding. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day, right? So the Lord called what? Light day, and he called the darkness night. And it says, in the evening and the morning were the first day. So that means day one starts in the evening, right? Meaning at nighttime. So your first day you count. So Monday starts in what? At night. Every day starts in the in evening, right? You get a full 24. You get a full 24 hour starting in the evening at nighttime. So the sun went down. For those that keep the Friday, the Saturday, the Friday sundown, the Saturday sundown, because what Friday sundown is actually the beginning of what Saturday, from evening to evening, right? Or I say Friday sundown and Saturday sundown, but it's Saturday, but the sun went down, so it's actually Sunday, right? Because the evening, and the morning were the first day. So the evening, so the and matter of fact, to prove that, we're gonna talk about the Passover, right? And I'm gonna skim through this. I ain't even gonna harp on this too bad, too heavy, right? Not too heavy. Okay, this is what I want. But I was seemed like it's later in the chapter. I was looking for something that was earlier in the chapter. Okay, I think that's what I was looking at. I got it misconstrued, confused. All right, this is Exodus chapter 12, verse 18. This is Exodus chapter 12, verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even. So at even, So what does that mean? Does that mean at evening of the 15th day? Because some people say, well, Passover is on the 14th day, is on the 14th day at sundown, 15th day, which they'll be backwards because if you say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, any number, if I say it's gonna be the 7th day at sundown, we know sundown is the evening. The evening is the beginning of the day. So it can't be the 7th day, right? It can't be the 7th day at sundown, 8th day. It has to be the 7th day at sundown, the ending of the 6th day, the beginning of the 7th. So this is actually the ending, and it's just, what I'm saying, basic mathematician. The ending of the 13th day, beginning of the 14th day. Whatever day it is when they say, well, it's the 16th day, beginning at the 16th day, right? Or the 20th day. Whatever day it is, that day must begin in the evening. So what is this? This is, I'm reading this again, Exodus 12 and 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening. So that means the 14th day at evening. Cause I'm so I gotta, what does that actually mean? I gotta break it down. Basic mathematician. Genesis 1 and 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. In the evening, in the morning, were the first day. So evening, right? The evening of a day is the beginning of a day. So it could be so damn bugs. So the evening of the second day, the evening of the third day, the evening of the fourth day, right? It's the beginning of those days. So when it says at eve on the 14th day at even, it's not talking about the 14th day uh ending. No, it's talking about the 14th day at evening, the beginning of the 14th day, right? Exodus 12 and 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, read that again. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even, right? So that's the beginning of the 14th day, all the way to the beginning of the 21st day, right? People get that misconstrued. They think that the 14th day is the 15th day, or that the Passover, right? People think that the Passover and the first day of unleavened bread is the same day, and that's how um, when the believers of the way and the Genesis Israelites, that's how they got a whole, that they got tripped up on that, man, because the side was trying to trap them up on the what you call it, Joseph of Arimathea. Did he break the Sabbath? But when you really get into it, the Passover is on the 14th day, not the 15th day. It's on the 14th day at even. We understand that at evening is the beginning of a day. It can be the 6th day, whatever it's like. Let's say the 6th day at evening. That is actually the beginning of the 6th day. It has to be a full 24 hours before that 6th day is over with. So the evening, the night, the first 12 hours is that first 12 hours of that 6th day. And then when the sun comes up at sunrise, right, evening in the morning, when the sun come up at sunrise, you have 12 hours, approximately about 12, might be 10 to 12 hours, depending on, daylight time saving, right? But you have those 12 hours of sun till that sun go down, and then it's the next day. So we understand that the Passover is actually within the 14th day. And it begins, how do we know this? It begins at nighttime in the evening. That's what the Lord said. And when you get into it, we understand that the Lord said, don't let nothing remain to the morning. This is all on the 14th day. How can this be the fifth? How can this be the 14th day, the beginning of the 14th day, when the day begins in the evening, right? When the Lord said you got to do all this on the 14th day, the 15 days, the 15th day is what we understand is the beginning of the feast, right? When you're dealing with a high Sabbath, when no work shall be done. So you understand the Lord was crucified on the 14th day Passover, and they said before the Sabbath, they were talking about the high Sabbath, the 15th day, the beginning of the feast. That's how you damn serpents, you snakes, you adders, right? Y'all try to trip the righteous up on that, but we on y'all tail, man. We on y'all tail, man. Joseph of Arimathea didn't break the Sabbath. How did he break the Sabbath? Because the Lord was crucified on Passover, and Passover and the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread are 2 different days. You got the 14th day and you got the 15th day, man. And the 15th day is the high Sabbath. That's why he was trying to hurry up and get him down from the cross, because the Feast of Unleavened Bread, when the sun went down, the 15th day, the high Sabbath, that was when it was about to take place. So we know these are 2 different days. But in Israel, y'all like to smash these, the Passover and the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Y'all like to smash these together, and that's where you get the confusion from. And that's when you got people like Assad that trip somebody up on, did Joseph of Arimathea break the Sabbath or not, right? Because y'all don't know what's what. The Passover is on the 14th day evening. The 14th day evening is actually the beginning of the 14th day. It's not the ending of the 14th day, man. And we get that understanding based off of basic scripture, starting from Genesis. You got to go back to the mathematician, the basics, because the Lord said what? In the evening, in the morning was the first day. In the evening, in the morning was the second day. So we get we can read through it. I can read through it, right? And we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Shit, fuck it. Hell, if we're gonna do doctrine on the Passover and when it actually, we can do that. You know what I'm saying? But first, let's get some basic understanding on when does a day start, man. You see what I'm saying? When does a day start? This is Genesis chapter 1, right? In the beginning, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So the Lord said the evening and the morning was the first day. The Lord said in the evening and the morning was the second day. Now we're going to go back to the Passover when it says, and the Passover shall be at what? At evening. So the 14th day evening is not the fucking 15th day. It's the beginning of the 14th day. It's the ending of the 13th day, beginning of the 14th day, man. This how we know. This how we know. Even when we get basic understanding, right? Uh, Here you have it. If you keep Sabbath on Saturdays, right? Like I do, then you have the understanding that the Sabbath is over with now. Even with the basic understanding, when you go to Matthew 28, it said, and after the Sabbath, the Lord was resurrected around when the sun went down, right? After the Sabbath was over, the Lord was resurrected. That's why when they went to his tomb on the day after the Sabbath, he wasn't there. You get that basic understanding. The Sabbath is over with, right? The Sabbath came last evening. This is Exodus chapter 12, verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, right? At even, right? Not the 15th day, the 14th day, right? The 14th day evening, the 14th day evening is the beginning of the 14th day, not the ending of the 14th day. And we're going to get more into that. We're going to prove that, actually. I'm going to read that from the top. Exodus 12 and 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, Ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 120th day of the month at even. 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened in all your habitations. Ye shall eat unleavened bread. All right, let's jump over to the next chapter. This is Exodus chapter 13, and I'm gonna start at you know what? That's actually not what I want. This is what I want. Actually, I'm gonna jump up. That's what I want. I'm gonna jump up. This is Exodus chapter 12 and verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And keep that in mind. And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, right? And when is that? When is the 14th day? The 14th day is what? At evening. It begins at what? At evening. You don't wait till the 14th day come and then evening, the whole night pass by, right? Then the sun come up, and then the sun about to come down, and it's about to be the 15th. No, no. At the end of the 13th day, at the beginning of when the sun go down on the 13th day, right? And it's evening on the 14th day. The 14th day begins, and this is when you do this. It says, "Ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in what? Kill it in the evening." Not the morning, the evening. And the evening and the morning were the first day. In the evening and the morning were the second day. In the evening and the morning was the third day. Right? Damn, bugs get back. But I'm gonna break it down, man. Because you had that whole Sabbath debate. And really the reason how you get tripped up is because you got the Sabbath you got the Sabbath and the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the same day. Yes, I said the Sabbath. You got the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the same day, which the Feast of Unleavened Bread is a Sabbath, right? It's a high Sabbath. Now, with you having the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the same day, you can't, certainly you can't do that they was able to do when how shall was crucified. See what I'm saying? So this is how you cut all that, right? The Passover was on the 14th day, the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the 15th day. The Lord was crucified on the 14th day. Everything that was taking place, them taking them down, getting the garment, all that buying and selling, they did that before the Sabbath. They did that on the preparation day, right? The Passover was a preparation day before the high Sabbath come, before the feast take place, before the feast took place, right? Now, yes, the Passover, again, I'm about to say that. The Passover is where it starts off unleavened, eating unleavened bread, but it's not the feast of unleavened bread. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You just.
Did you? Yes. Okay. That's why I turned around. I was like, what? Yeah. So. Wait, what's in
Exodus 12:5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So this is the 14th day. This is not the 15th. This is not the sundown. It's not the 14th day and then that sundown 15 day. No, this is at evening, beginning of the 14th day. And we're gonna prove that, man. Right? We're gonna as we progress to show. Verse 7. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two sides posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, right? Roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roasted with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain unto the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So this is all taking place on the 14th day, right? That's why it says at the evening and the morning was the first day. The evening is the beginning of the day. That's why it says on the 14th day of evening. It said it twice in this chapter. Trying to get to it. It said verse 11, thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, the shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. Against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh. Right? It says, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So let's get to the point. Right? Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Verse 15. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread, even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. Read it again, verse 16. It says, and in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your army out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in a land. You shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall you eat unleavened bread. So people are like, okay, boom, so what we get from that, how is that? And you know what I'm saying? I thought it's 14th day evening, get the 15th day. So where you going with this, Kaloy? But let's see where I'm going with it. So we're gonna break it down line upon line, man. To get the proper understanding. It keeps saying 14 day and 21 day, and what is it really saying? All right. So this is where we at with it. This is Leviticus chapter 23. So now we're gonna get the proper understanding of what it's really saying. All right. This is this is Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 4. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh's Passover. So I was harking on that. We got that established. 14th day at evening. At the beginning of the 14th day. The evening that starts the 14th day is the Passover. Right? Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to Yahweh. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. So now people get it, okay, well, let's say on the 14th day at evening to the 21st. So they think, okay, this is actually the 15th day and the 22nd day. When that's completely false. I always let them try it. Yeah. Verse 7. It says, in the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Now, the Lord kept the Passover. We know called the Lord's Supper, which was the Passover. And he was crucified on the Passover because he had to be the sacrificial lamb, right? Joseph of Arimathea and the rest of everybody knew that the Sabbath was coming. The Holy Convocation was coming. So it's giving us this distinction, the 14 day and the 15 days. So I'm going to read it again from the top, and we're going to try to break it down some more. Verse 5, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread to the Lord. So Israelites have combined the Passover and the feast of unleavened bread into one day. That the Passover kicks off the feast of unleavened bread. Not necessarily. The Passover is, yes, the Passover, but it is not a holy convocation where you can't do no servile work, right? Verse 5, in the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. And the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speaking to the children of Israel, and saying to them, okay, that's it on that. So we got to understand on the 14th day of the first month at evening, and then we got to understand on the 15th day of the same month, feast of unleavened bread. So basically, we're saying the 14th day at evening, the beginning of the 14th day is a Passover. Once the evening in the morning, that's because it says, because why is it saying in the morning? Evening in the morning, when we have an evening in the morning, that's a full day, right? So because it's like trying to break it, it's hard to, you know, I don't even want to say that. I'm gonna just break it down. I want to say it's hard. Say it's hard for those out there to probably understand. But you have the Passover. You have to eat it in the night. And I'm gonna try to go get some more scriptures, or whatever. But you had a Passover. You staying at home. You got to eat the lamb. Nothing should remain to the morning. If anything remains to the morning, you have to burn it. You know what I'm saying? Burn it, right? You have the feast of unleavened bread on the 15th day, the 15th day evening. So people get it misconstrued that the Passover, which starts on the 14th day evening, that you have in the land, that you do all that stuff on the Passover, and the morning come, right? That you gotta burn all that stuff. They think that's the 15th day. It kicks off the feast of unleavened. They think that's the holy convocation. They think that's all in one, right? But I gotta read it again. That's not all in one. That's not all in one. And we have to understand it because the evening and the morning are is one whole day. So they taking the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Holy Convocation, and combining it into one. When you have to do it's the Passover, it's a whole day. You have to at nighttime. You got to eat the meal. You got to make sure nothing remains to the morning, and in the morning you got to burn all the stuff up to get ready for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm gonna read this again, Leviticus, because we're gonna have to go through it and show them because directly once they ate the meal, and kill all the enemies at midnight. Trying to knock out my system, man. They're trying to knock because I'm the spirit flowing. But once they ate the Passover meal, you see what I'm saying? Once they ate the Passover, you see what I'm saying? Once they ate on the 14th day, once they ate the Passover, man, at evening, they ate the Passover. At midnight, the Lord killed everybody. Anybody that wasn't covered by the blood of the Lamb was slain, man, including Pharaoh's son. So at midnight, Pharaoh was like, he gave a word. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got a word that they can go. Now, did they go immediately? No, they didn't go immediately, right? When morning came, they had to make sure they had to keep the whole Passover. They had to burn up stuff. Which we're gonna matter of fact, let's get that. We're gonna have to go back to it, right? Because that was the decree. And then I'm gonna pull it to where they actually left on the 15th. They actually left on the Feast of Unleavened Bread. They actually left on the 15th day, man. You see what I'm saying? But see, we get that understanding when it says because the law it breaks it in Leviticus it breaks it down. It says the 14th day is the Passover, and it says the 15th day is the Holy Convocation because people get it confused. Say, well, the 14th day at sundown, because we're gonna have to get that. I'm gonna have to break it down because it also said the 14th day at sundown, and the 21st day at the sundown is when you keep is when you eat unleavened bread because the Passover is the Passover where you eat unleavened bread, but it's not the feast. It's not the feast of unleavened bread, right? The first day of unleavened bread is the feast of unleavened bread that kicks it off, and that's the Holy Convocation. That's the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 7 days, right? But people start from 14. You don't start from 14 and count, no, you count 15. Let's get this, man. I want to prove that. I'm just read Exodus 12 again to get that understanding. All right, this is Exodus 12 and 6. And ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So it's not saying the 14th day, the ending of the 14th day, evening, beginning of the 15th day. It's not saying that, right? Because a day is an evening, a day has an evening and a morning. So he told them what to do on the 14th day at evening. This is what you're doing in the evening on the 14th day. This is what you're doing in the morning on the 14th day. The morning is the second half of the day that they had to do. They had to make sure that there was nothing left remaining. But we're going to get all that, man. I'm going to jump down. Verse 10, Exodus 12 and 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. So this is still the 14th day. People think this is the 15th day of the morning. People think this is the 15th day evening and the 15th day. No, this is the 14th day. You're keeping the Passover on the 14th day, man. It says, and ye shall let nothing, verse Exodus 12 and 10, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. Now, I'm going to get real accounts, real examples of this taking place, right? So we're going to jump down. We should have an understanding of the Passover. And if I get some more scriptures, let me, let me see. Yeah, so this is what people get it misconstrued, right? The first day is the 15th day. The Passover is not the first day, right? The Passover is not the Passover is not where you getting all the, you know what I'm saying? That's the preparation day because, and we're gonna break it down. You know what I'm saying? Because in the morning on the 14th day you have to, I'm gonna read that again. Exodus 12 and 10. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just read it straight through and I'm gonna break it down and then I'm gonna get the account of where the Pharaoh told them to leave. This was all on Passover. But that's gonna be like the main head chopper. And I know I'm kind of, you know, because I'm out here, I'm out here live from camp. But people get it misconstrued because it says the 14th day where you, because you eat unleavened bread with the Passover, but it's actually not the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's actually not the first day where you got to get all the leaven out of your houses. No, that's the preparation day. The first day where all they got the Holy Convocation, first day, and nowhere in the scriptures where it say the 14th day is the first day of the Holy Convocation. You will not find that. But people get it misconstrued because they say, well, 14 days, you know what I'm saying? People, you know what I'm saying? And that's where even high level teachers, they trip up. You get like a lot of leaders, probably majority, probably 100%. I'm gonna bet, put 99.9% of it, that a lot of that all the elders are saying that the Passover is at the 14th day, at the ending of the 14th day, at sundown 15th day. right? And that's when you get your doctrine misconstrued. Now you thinking that Joseph from Arimathea broke the Sabbath, or you got to play hopscotch. You got to play around it, right? You got to kind of wing it now, right? Because why Joseph from Arimathea, if the Passover is Sabbath, Yahweh Shah was crucified on Passover, why is he breaking the Sabbath? When that's not true, he wasn't breaking the Sabbath because the Passover is the 14th day and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is the 15th day, and the Lord put a clear distinction between the two because they're not the same day, contrary to popular belief. So I got to read this again from the top. This is Exodus 12 and 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So this is talking about after you eat the lamb, after you eat the Passover, right? And the morning of that 14th day. Remember, the evening and the morning is that day. The evening and the morning is that day. The evening and the morning is that day. The evening and the morning is that day, right? A day has to have an evening and a morning. So this is talking about the morning of the 14th day. So she's talking about the end of towards the end of the 14th day, right? When that sun coming up, right? Because the night comes, that's the half of a day, and then when that sun come up, the morning comes, that's the start of the other half of the day, the start of the other half towards the end. So Exodus 12 and 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night. This night, check it out. This night. So this wasn't even sort of. So this is this night. This is the Passover night, right? For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial. This is the Passover, the 14th day. And ye shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Check it out. 7 days. So immediately after this, 7 days, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread, even the first day. Even the first day. So this is not even the first day. This is not the 14th day. And we get that established in Leviticus 23, right? You will not find it where it says the 14th day is the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, starting these 7 days. You will not find it, right? And if you know what I'm saying, somebody said that, yeah, they lying, or they misreading, they misconstruing the scriptures, man, right? Verse 15, Exodus 12 and 15. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread, even the first day, even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. And so the Lord said that should be a holy convocation. But he just, so why would the Lord say the Passover, this is a memorial? Because the Passover is a memorial. Because when you get into it, a convocation and a memorial is he's dividing, he's putting a clear distinction between the two. He said the 14th day, when you this Passover, everything I'm telling you to do on this 14th day is for a reason. This is a memorial. And then he come back and say the feast of unleavened bread, even the first day, is a holy convocation. So you have a holy convocation and you have a memorial. You have a memorial, and then immediately after memorial, you have a holy convocation. Right? It says, and verse 16, and in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. Right? There shall be. So wait a minute. So wait a minute. Wait. and my tip with this one. The Lord is giving the decree right now, telling them that this night I'm about to go through. This is right there. It's not a holy convocation right now. They eating a Passover. This is a memorial they're about to do the Passover, and after they do it, they're gonna remember it as a memorial. This ain't the holy convocation. If you can pick up on, I believe it's a word. It's called like damn, I forgot what that word called, but it's called basically dialect literacy, or when you or comprehension literacy. What's another word for it? Like historical dialect literacy, when you can understand what they're saying in these times, or you know what I'm saying, what they're trying to get across. But basically, the Lord saying there shall be a holy, there shall be, like like the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like in the future, like it's going to be like not right now. Read this. It says, verse 16, in the first day, and in the first. If this is the first day, why it says and in the first day? That means the first day is gonna be that next day, and we're gonna prove this, man. I'm gonna prove it through the context of what's happening, because the scripture said that Israel left on the 15th day at evening. At evening they left. At evening they left, but at midnight on Passover, if the Passover was supposed to be the 15th day, Pharaoh told them to leave at midnight, but the scriptures say they left in the evening. So they left in the 16th day, because the scripture said they left on the 15th day of the month at evening. Right? So people gotta do some explaining. I know what the fuck it means. I know what it means. I know what it means. Read this. Verse 16 says, and in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, that which says, save that which every man must eat. They only, it says, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. Verse 17, and ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day, it says, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even. So this what I wanted. Because this is where people get it misconstrued. They say, well, the 14th day, they think this is the same. I gotta read this again. Exodus 12 and 18 says, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at evening. So on the 14th day, because people say, well, how's it 7? Because it gotta be Passover gotta be the 15th. It gotta be all in one, right? Because 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 8 days. So the Lord said that 14 day evening. So people get it all misconstrued and think, well, that's 8 days. 14, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 8 days, right? So people should be like, well, wait a minute, this is the first day, and the 7th day. Well, you get it all wrong. You get it misconstrued. So we're gonna have to break it down for you, man. And that's what we're here for. We're here to break it down for you. Exodus 12, right? Exodus 12 and 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, you shall eat unleavened bread. Right. With the Passover, you eat unleavened bread. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying, well, they didn't. Well, Loyola said that feast unleavened bread start on the 15th day, so that means you don't gotta eat. No, the Lord said you're gonna eat unleavened bread on the 14th day. Yes, that is correct. Right? Does that change the doctrine on which? No, it don't change nothing, because we're gonna break it. precept upon precept, line upon line, and get you the proper understanding. Rightly dividing the word of truth, man. It says, read it again from the top, Exodus 12 and 18. Because a lot of people, a lot of y'all got short attention span, man. Y'all got ADHD, man. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all bouncing all over the place. Exodus 12 and 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at even, you shall eat unleavened bread. So the beginning of the 14th day, until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even, so the beginning of the 21st day, right? It says 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses. So 7 days, right? So this is what people would say, 7 days. So if you eat leavened bread on a 14th day, right? So if you eating, uh, so if you eating unleavened bread on a 14th day, right? People think, well, he says there shall be no leaven found in your houses for 7 days. So that gotta mean that the Passover, which on the 14th day, is actually the 15th day, and that's what we get you said. No, that does not mean that, right? That does not mean that. The Passover, the 14th day is not this does not apply to the 14th day, right? It does not apply. It says, verse 19, 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. So, so we got that understanding of no unleavened bread. No leaven found in your houses for 7 days. And so, if it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, that's 8 days. So the scriptures say 15, but it says say 14, and then it say, well, at 14 day, where it says Exodus 12 and 18, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month. And this is the 7th day that shall be no leaven found in your houses. Well, this is what it's saying. It's saying that but if you eat unleavened bread with the Passover, right? And then directly after the memorial, directly after the Passover, is the feast of unleavened bread. Now people are like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, man, they don't say that, man. You add it to the word, right? You add it to the word, man. All right. Well, let's see what it's saying in real time then. Let's see if I'm adding to the word. All right. This is Exodus 12 and 27. It says that ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, pass over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and the people bowed their head and worshiped. And the children of Israel went away and did as Yahweh commanded, and Moses and Aaron so did they. So they did what? They kept the Passover. Let's see what happened now. So this is supposed to be, so let's see in theory what's about to happen. So I'm saying this is the 14th day. This is all the 14th day Passover. Y'all saying that this is the 15th day. 14th day was over with. This is the 15th day, right? So let's see what's up. Verse 28, and the children of Israel went away and did as Yahweh commanded, and Moses and Aaron so did they. Verse 29, and it came to pass that at midnight on the Passover, right? And it came to pass that at midnight, the Lord Yahweh smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh. So they just ate the Passover. So this is the Passover at midnight. So they kept the Passover because you're supposed to keep the Passover at evening when the sun go down, right? And not at 10, not an hour before midnight. when the sun go down, at evening, when the sun go down, you keeping the Passover, right? Right? Okay. So they kept the Passover. They did what, because it said, because people say, well, you lying. Well, okay, I'm going to read it again. Exodus 12 and 28. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. What is that? That means they ate the Passover. They kept the Passover. They ate it and did everything that the Lord required them to do for the Passover that night in the evening. Right? So did they. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight, so at midnight of the Passover, the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, the same night of the Passover, at midnight, at midnight, at midnight, at midnight. Or look, because at midnight the Lord slain them people. So a little bit after midnight, right? It's telling you. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. So this was the night before morning. This was the Passover night. Hours after they kept a couple, few hours, several hours after they kept the Passover. Still night. Could be like 1 to 5, like 1 to 5 a.m., 1 to 4 a.m. in the morning, before the sunrise, before the morning time, before they gotta, uh, uh, finish the Passover ritual, right? So it says, and Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and your children, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. Right? So this all happened at night before the morning. So I'm gonna keep reading because I gotta get the full picture. I'm gonna try to get the full picture. Verse 34, and the people took their dough before it was leavened, and their kneading troughs being bound up, and their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the words of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. Right? And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. So all that happened. So let's go back to the Passover, how the Lord told him to keep the Passover. So this is Exodus chapter 12, I'm starting at verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male in the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in what? The evening. Right? Because keep Passover in the evening, right? Verse 7, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roasted with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Right, verse 8. And they shall eat it with what eat, they shall eat the flesh in it's like they shall eat the flesh in that night, roasted with fire and unleavened bread. So that's what you get the unleavened bread, you get the unleavened bread, right? And with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor salting it all with water, but roast it with fire, his head with his legs, and with the prisoners thereof. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So this is the ordinance. Let me finish because this gotta get the rest of the ordinance. And ye shall eat it, and thus shall ye eat it, with the loins girded, the shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and shall eat it in haste, for it is Yahweh's Passover. So this is the ordinance of the Passover. So in the morning, they had to do what? So I'm gonna ask y'all this. When we're reading this, they ate because they gotta kill it at evening, right? Because it give me the timeline. At evening, this is when it starts. Sun go down, nighttime. They killing the lamb, they putting the blood on the doorpost, you know, and they eating it roast with fire. They got a unleavened bread, bitter herbs. They're eating it, and they're eating this dinner, eating it in haste. This is nighttime now. At midnight, the Lord comes through, kill everybody. Boom, boom. A little after that, Pharaoh wake up, same night. So this had to be like 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, nighttime. Several hours after they kept the Passover, they come to you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta get the fuck about it. Boom, 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 boom. The morning come, they have something to do in the morning. What do they have to do in the morning? It says, verse 10, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning, ye shall burn with fire. So they wasn't supposed to let nothing remain until the morning. And anything that remained until the morning, they had to do what? They had to burn with fire. This morning, for them to keep this ordinance, did not come yet. It did not come yet until after Pharaoh got a decree for them that they can leave. But they still had to keep this. So when did they actually leave? Because they had to keep this ordinance, right? And I wanna go back to what I want, man. Do I want to jump down? I think I got everything I got up on that. Matter of fact, this is what I want. Because we got the understanding at midnight. So this wasn't even, so morning didn't even come when Pharaoh got the decree that they can leave. But we understand that at morning time that they have to make sure that there's nothing left of the Passover. If anything left of the Passover, you got to burn it in the morning. So when did they actually leave, man? You know what I'm saying? When did they actually leave? Check it out. This is Numbers chapter 33, verse 1. These are the journeys of the children of Israel, which went forth, which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron. And Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord Yahweh. These are the journeys according to their goings out. And they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow, check this out. Now this is a dagger. This is gonna kill everything, man. Everything I'm saying, you might say, well, he's talking in circles. This is gonna kill everything. It says, on the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. Check this out, verse 4. For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord Yahweh had smitten among them upon their gods. Also the Lord executed judgments. So, because people look over that, what does on the morrow mean? On the morrow means when you go into that, it literally means the next day. It literally means the next day after. So it's saying the next day after the Passover. So let's read it again. Numbers 33, verse 3. And they departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover. The children of Israel went out with a high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians. So it says, it didn't say after they kept the Passover. It says on the morrow after the Passover. It's literally saying the day, I'm excited. It's literally saying, it's literally saying the direct, the immediate, I'm trying to use the best word I can, the immediate next day after the Passover. It said on the 15th day. I'm gonna read that again because people are like, what? Numbers 33 and 3. And they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day, right? On the first day, or the first day, the 15th day of the holy convocation of the 7-day feast, of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It says, and they departed from Ramses in the first month on the 15th day of the first month, 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover. The children of Israel went out. So that right there lets me know, or lets everybody know, that the Passover is not the 15th day. The Passover cannot be the 15th day if the children of Israel went out of it. Because you got to remember, because you got to put it in its proper perspective. If the children of Israel kept the Passover on a 14th day at evening, right? At evening, you keep the Passover at evening. At nighttime, it's called a Passover supper, right? The dinner, Passover dinner, the Passover supper, the Lamb's supper. Keep it at night. They kept it at night. They keep the blood post on the door. Blah blah blah, cha cha cha, blah blah blah. Midnight, Lord, the Holy Spirit come through. Yahweh shall come through. He kill all the enemies. Pass over everybody with the blood of the Lamb on their door. Pharaoh, we don't know. Could be an hour, 2 hours, could have been 10 minutes. We don't know. A little bit after, he wakes up, finds out the firstborn of everything is dead. He get a decree. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta leave. Y'all gotta get up out of here. I got to go. Y'all gotta get up out of here. They just kept the Passover. That's the Passover. The Pharaoh gave the decree on the Passover. That was the fucking Passover. All they did, all that was on the Passover. Now, when the sun rise, when the morning comes, anything left of the Passover, they gotta what? They gotta burn it with. They gotta burn that shit, right? They gotta burn that. I'm saying they gotta burn that shit. So that's all. That's all 14 days. You see what I'm saying? So on the 15th day, after that morning, when the sun go down, let's read it again. Numbers chapter 33, verse 3, and they departed from Ramses in the first month, on the 15th day of the first month, on the morrow after the Passover. So after the Passover, right, the day after the Passover, that's why it literally means on the morrow. On the morrow literally means the day after. The day after, right? So at evening, and I got to find it, I believe they left at evening. All right, they left at evening because they had to do, you know what I'm saying? They didn't just leave, immediately. Let's see if I can find that too, matter of fact. funny. I got it, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover until Yahweh thy power. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. By night. So they left on the 15th day at evening, at nighttime. Not the 14th day at evening, at nighttime, because the 14th day at evening, at nighttime, they was eating the Passover. And so you can't say, well, this is the 15th day, and then the next day, they left. No, they didn't leave on the 16th day. They left on the 15th day. Right? So this is when we get that about how they left in the evening. At nighttime, they had to leave at nighttime. Right? So yeah, Salakia. Salakia. But I'll close out, man. Giving y'all some word, giving y'all some game. But basically, man, Israel left at night. They said they left on the 15th day on the morrow after the Passover. Trying to break it down, but the 14th day is the Passover. The 15 days when they actually left, and that's the actually beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And so this is how we know that Yahweh Shai was crucified on Passover, and Joseph Arimathea and the rest of Israel was getting ready for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Holy Convocation, the highest Sabbath, which is not the Passover. Two different separate days, two separate 24 hours. With that, I'm going to close out giving our praise to Yahweh by Shimmy, Shabbat, Shimmy, Kakudash. Shalom, Silek, man. Shalom.